Lock it in now, it's time to begin. We're gonna get it started. Just believe in your dream and you know you can be anything you want it.
What's going on, guys? I'm the startup chauffeur and I interview inspiring startup founders. You ask questions, they answer them. Today I'm joined by Aida Nazari, co-founder and CCO of LuxAI. Aida, your elevator pitch starts right now.
So all of us are aware of the impact of the robots in the industry. However, they can have the same effect in healthcare by doing the repetitive and standard task. The challenge is that the healthcare professionals are not necessarily IT experts. So the core of what we do in LuxAI is to empower healthcare professionals to use technology, AI and robotic, exactly as they use their computers and smartphones. So our first product, QTrobot, is built and designed to help children with autism to benefit more from the therapy sessions. It makes therapy more effective, more accessible and more affordable.
You won multiple awards with LuxAI, for example, the CES Innovation Award. How important is it for a startup to participate in competitions? And how has it helped you?
The whole purpose is to actually get your message out and make sure that the people who are actually looking for such a solution can get aware that you are doing such a thing. And for us it was really important because from the day one we knew that we have an international market and we want to make sure that we have an international visibility. So being a part of this competition and getting this award provide us with this opportunity to get this international visibility and receive a lot of interest and purchase inquiries from all around the globe.
Okay, so you say it's also important for media coverage,
Yes.
get more attention, people
Yes.
know who you are, what you're doing, what is LuxAI.
Exactly. So if you want to get media attention and promote your product, it's difficult to do it when you are completely unknown. But when you win an award and when you have something to pitch to the media, it would be way easier to actually contact them and create some awareness about your product by using this kind of awards and promoting it in a way that is like an award-winning company.
Okay, let's get straight to the questions.
Okay. How do you keep your focus when you aim to develop solutions for three very different target groups: education, healthcare, and entertainment? Ask founders. These three domains are actually the potentials to create solutions for using a robot. And it doesn't mean that necessarily right now we are working on all of these aspects. As a small startup at the beginning, we clarified with ourselves that we need to have a first market, maybe a niche market, that we can actually use it to enter to the market, to introduce our company to the market. And then after that, we can pursue to get more opportunities and more potential, for example, in the education system, more on the healthcare system. Now we are only working on autism not to lose focus and not to be involved with too many things in the same time that actually distract us from actually going to the real market. Why did you choose Luxembourg to develop this project? #askfounders. This project started from the University of Luxembourg. So my co-founder, during his PhD, he developed some software that we realized that we can use the same software in order to make robot programming and using robots very easy. After that, we applied for a proof of concept project, which is one of the schemas of the Fund National Research, which actually tries to fill the gap between IPs generated in the university until you become a company that can actually go for other type of funding. So it fills this gap. So what we did was to actually apply for this grant and use this and get started with the startup. And it was really important and we are really happy that we did it in Luxembourg, mainly because at the start point we didn't start from zero, but we had a lot of support from FNR in order to build our product, in order to market it, and in order to establish everything because before actually going to private people and asking for further financing. The government is pushing a lot to actually promote entrepreneurship, and it provides a lot of opportunities for small companies to start because they receive a lot of support, a lot of mentorship, a lot of courses that actually can prepare them to actually become entrepreneurs. And I really think that Luxembourg is a very good point to actually start. If you're working in the med tech or if you're working with healthcare, you cannot just go and say, I have this product. You need to be able to validate it. You need to be able to show that there is some science behind it and it has been tested, it has been evaluated. So for companies like us, which are working with sensitive topics related to healthcare, it's really important to actually have like a safe and secure environment to actually like build and show that there is evidences that the product can work, and then after that go to the real market and talk to real, for example, like investors or banks or grants and everything. As a female founder, do you think you had to tackle more barriers than other entrepreneurs? #AskFounders. As an entrepreneur, always you have to prove yourself, and it has nothing to do with being a woman or being a man, to show that you have the skills to build a business. But I think still for women it's more difficult, because they have to actually show that they have like the capacities to actually compete and be somehow productive in a world that is meant to be for men before. Being a woman doesn't reduce anything from your potentials to actually build a successful startup.
Now you also see a lot of events, women in tech. That's also important to just show people out there. Okay, there are women, there are startup founders that are into entrepreneurship, there are entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs.
For me, it's really important to actually have all of these events, as you said, to empower women, not only to show all the society that women are as capable as men to create companies and startups, but more importantly to show young women, to show motivated women that you are not alone. There have been some people who have created successful companies, therefore you can also do it.
How can QTrobot help getting reintegrated into society?
Children with autism have difficulties to understand the behaviors of the people. What is the main meaning, for example, behind emotions, behind the tonality of our voice, behind our body language? What is the message which is hidden? Qt is a simplified version of a human. So everything about him, everything about his behavior, his voice, everything is somehow simplified. So children with autism can practice the same social context that they have a problem in a very safe and simplified environment. It works as like a small like tutor or a small friend for children. And in every session it tries to play some kind of interactive games and tell some stories and, for example, use some materials. That all of these games and stories are designed to teach a particular skill. For example, about teaching emotions, teaching about how to communicate with people, how to handle some difficult situations, and it does it through games and stories. These games can help them to develop some skills which not having them makes social interaction difficult for them. And this is how it actually contributes to help them to be included in the society and be able to comfortably interact with people. Many founders launch projects that aim to solve problems they experience or observe themselves. How did the idea of building QTrobot come up, and how did you go about the first steps to build the venture? #AskFounders. The challenges that we have in healthcare system, for example, related to human resources, the problems that this lack of human resources cause in healthcare to not be able to provide as much as required in the services. So we were discussing about using AI and robotic in order to basically help solve these kind of problems in healthcare. We got introduced to somebody who actually mentioned us that he has already invested in a startup company to build robots for autism. The things didn't go really well, so at the end there was no product out. We realized that there is a lot of research that supports the fact that the robots can be really game-changing when it comes to children with autism, but in the same time there is not any commercial product available. So we thought that it's a very good opportunity for us to actually be able to use my medical background in healthcare and also my co-founder's background in AI and robotics to build something which is based on a lot of robust research which has been done, but also can contribute in making the situation of the children as well as healthcare providers who are working with these children better.
And what's the feedback from clients that have bought QTrobot?
Most of them are really open to accept technology. They can see why a robot can be helpful. And then the second thing is that even though that they think that the robot is very complex and difficult to handle, as soon as they start working with it, they see that it's not the case. So they can really use the robot as easy as a smartphone. And also the most important thing is that as soon as the autism professionals see the interaction of the child and the robot, they can clearly see that why the robot is a good tool for them, because the child is more comfortable, they are more engaged, they are more even interacting with the therapist himself. We had many parents that told us that children really love QT, they really pay attention to what he says, and they somehow like consider it as something very important that they have to apply in their life. We had a mother that was telling us that when the child goes to a normal therapy session, he never talks about it. But then when QT is doing the sessions and conducting the training sessions, when he comes back, he's constantly like telling to the parents or to the younger brother that this is how we should do the things. QT told that we should do this. The parents see that the children are now comfortable and they are making friends, so they are more socially interactive, they are more comfortable in social interaction. Can you see your product as a solution that can be used for other social interactions as well? For instance, as a comforting robot for children experiencing a car crash. #askfounders. So besides children with autism, we have children who have for example, developmental disorders, children who have learning difficulties that can also easily benefit in the same way as children with autism from the robot. It's not like a very pleasant environment and playful environment for children. So they were a little bit like isolated. They didn't have a lot of like social interaction. They could not go and play with other children. By having a robot in this kind of situation, not only you can support children to have like a better mood and not be depressed, but also keep in mind that these children are not going to school because they are hospitalized. So if you can bring some of the educational content of the school or generally something educational to the hospital by using a robot, I really believe it has a great impact and it can contribute a lot in the well-being of the children.
What is, in your opinion, the biggest challenge when it comes to commercialization of innovative products?
Sometimes you have a product which is innovative in a sense that there is already a solution in the market, but your solution is better, faster, or cheaper. So communicating it with the users is very easy because the user already have a perception about the solutions in the market. However, sometimes your solution is not just innovative, but disruptive. Such an approach to the problem didn't exist before. So your customers and your users basically don't know what to expect from it. You have to be a little bit patient and allow some early users to actually use it and communicate about it, give testimonials about it. In the beginning, definitely it takes more time, it takes more patience, and you have to be careful not to just like push it to all the people that it's good for you, but let them use it and let them see themselves.
Aida, this is your chance. What message do you want to get out there?
So I really think that I was really fortunate to be able to work on something that I'm passionate about, and I strongly believe in that. And I really think that if somebody has a passion and an idea that they believe in it, they have to just like go for it, they have to try it. And I'm sure that having this passion and willingness will support you in order to make it happen.
We reached the end of the interview. Thank you very much for sharing your questions. Make sure to follow Startup Chauffeur on social media and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Remember, you ask questions, they answer.